Bellator 184 Dantas vs. Caldwell takes place tomorrow night, Friday, October 6, 2017 at WinStar World Casino and Resort in Thackerville, Ocala, featuring a Spike TV televised main event between bantamweight champion Eduardo Dantas, who is searching for his fifth straight win in a title defense, against takedown specialist Caldwell. In addition to the 135-pound title bout on atop the marquee, two featherweight bouts underneath will feature former world champions seeking their path back to glory, while the man who once scored a stunning upset over Caldwell will look to score a win over a former opponent of Dantas. Let's break it down. 135 pounds. Eduardo Dantas 204 vs. Caldwell 101. There are two fighters to me who personify the phrase speed kills: UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson and Bellator bantamweight champion Eduardo Dantas. Both have a speed edge over their competition that is almost impossible to beat. Both strike effectively and are nowhere to be found when their opponents throw counter shots. Both are incredibly well conditioned and have the cardio to go round after round in lengthy title fights. Presenting them with a number one contender is simply another chance to answer the question, are you faster than me? Normally for Dantas the answer is no, but we have seen a crack in his armor on just one occasion. Even though he has lost 4 times overall, Joe Warren is the only man to beat him in Bellator MMA so far. How did he do what hasn't been done by anyone else in 11 fights wrestling? Whether you love him or you hate him, even his haters can admit Warren is one of the best wrestlers in mixed martial arts. Warren may not have been faster with his hands or his feet, but so long as he could get Dantas to engage at close range, he could change levels and find those takedowns. Even in this case, Warren just squeaked by and won 3 rounds to 2. A few years later, Dantas got his revenge in a decidedly more one-sided fight. What does this mean for the Wolf? Caldwell? Well, as a former NCAA national champion at 149 pounds, Caldwell can make a case to say he's the younger, 29, faster and stronger version of Joe Warren. Half of his wins, 5 out of 10, come by decision, showing he's more than happy to punish opponents by slamming them to the mat than using groundwork to pound out a grueling victory. His Achilles heel is also his wrestling, though. Caldwell drives so hard on his takedown attempts that he often leaves his neck exposed, and Joe Timonglo caught him in the act for one of 2016's more shocking upsets. Even though Caldwell would avenge that loss, he gave Timonglo multiple chances to submit him a second time to a shocking degree. Dantas hasn't submitted anyone since 2014, but Caldwell can ill afford to take that chance and give Dantas the chance to apply a guillotine. Caldwell has been given the ultimate catch-22 scenario. He can beat Dantas with wrestling if he can catch him, but in trying to catch him he could expose himself to another devastating submission. Caldwell has one other problem: he's injury-prone, which caused him to withdraw from this fight once before. Can Caldwell come in anywhere close enough to 100% for the bout? He's got to be stronger, and faster, and make less mistakes than Dantas. He needs a nearly perfect fight, while Dantas just needs to do what he's already done in 4 straight fights. Advantage Dantas. Final prediction: Eduardo Dantas retains the title via unanimous decision. 145 pounds. Daniel Strauss 257 vs. Emmanuel Sanchez 153. At this point I think we can all be happy Daniel Strauss is not fighting a man named Patricio Pitbull Freire. The series of encounters they've had is epic, but having only 1 victory in 4 attempts means Freire has his number. That's bad news for the former 2-time featherweight champion, because to get a 5th fight with the current champion, he's going to have to be even more impressive now than at any point in his career so far. He doesn't just need wins, he needs dominant, spectacular wins to prove it's worth Bellator running it back one more time. The upside is definitely on the side of El Matador Emmanuel Sanchez. He's younger, 27 versus 33, he's taller, 59 versus 58, and he's got a clear reach advantage, 71 versus 67. His only loss in his last 6 fights comes against Daniel Weichel, and a 2-fight win streak over tough opponents like Georgi Karakhanyan and Marcos Galvao suggest that's a problem he's solved. If there's a huge knock on Sanchez, it's that he tips scales heavy on a fairly regular basis. Bellator can make this a catchweight fight if they need to, but they shouldn't have to, because if Sanchez wants to be a contender he needs to prove it both on the scale and in the cage with the former champion. Final prediction: Emmanuel Sanchez takes a unanimous decision in Oklahoma. 145 pounds. Pat Curran 227 vs. John Teixeira 2122. Another former champion steps into the fray in Thackerville on Friday night, the man who took the title back from Strauss in a rematch of their first encounter. Since that time Curran's career has been 22, but the latter two are wins over the aforementioned Sanchez and the always dangerous Karakhanyan. One more quality win has him knocking on the number one contender's door. Only a seasoned veteran like Daniel Weichel or a hot young prospect like AJ McKee would have a better argument than a two-time champion on a 3-fight win streak over top divisional foes. Yes, that does mean I'm qualifying Teixeira as a top foe for Curran. He's only lost once in 5 Bellator fights, and that was to the aforementioned Weichel. Getting bogged down in the MMA math of who can beat who by who they beat is an unreliable way to pick fights, and all of these men have common opponents. Let's look at the tail of the tape instead. Teixeira is 57 with a 68 reach. Curran is 510 with a 73 reach. Both men are 30 years old. There's only a 4-fight difference between them in total number of bouts. Curran has 12 finishes, 5 knockouts, 7 submissions, and Teixeira has 14 4 knockouts, 10 submissions. I consider that a push in 3 out of 5 categories, but a significant edge for Curran in size and reach. My mind's made up. Final prediction: Pat Curran wins this fight via technical knockout. 135 pounds. Joe Taimonglo 2371 vs. Leandro Higa 173. Leandro Higa is a bit of a disappointment to me. He came in as a replacement for Caldwell to fight Dantas with an outstanding record and 8 straight wins. Unfortunately, Higa missed weight and ended up in a non-title bout. Even though Dantas clearly dominated the contest, one judge scored it for Higa anyway, which is even more frustrating. Fight fans should expect Higa to prove himself if he wants to stick around in Bellator's competitive bantamweight division. He's finished 14 of 20 fights, 70%, and needs a performance like that against Taimonglo to earn his spot. Taimonglo is a seasoned and underrated veteran with over 30 fights under his belt, including the aforementioned career-defining victory over Caldwell. The juggernaut finishes over half of his wins by submission, 12 of 23, and will seize any opportunity he gets to tap you out. There's one big problem for Taimonglo though, and it's his size. He's a 54 fighter with a 65 reach going against a 58 fighter with a 72 reach. The 4 inches in height could be irrelevant, but the 7 inches in length is definitely not. Higa doesn't knock people out very often 3 times, but it's very hard to not picture him tagging Taimonglo often. Remember, we started out with the premise that speed kills, and Taimonglo just isn't that quick. He's called a juggernaut because he packs a lot of muscle into a small frame, which makes him dangerous if he puts you in a squeeze, but slower on his feet overall. Final prediction: Leandro Higa gets his first Bellator win via knockout. That's a wrap. Mania.com will deliver coverage of Bellator 184 tomorrow with prelims undercard results at 7 p.m. ET and Spike TV fights starting at 9 p.m. ET. To check out the latest Bellator related news and notes, be sure to hit up our comprehensive news archive right here.